The following program is a production of Naleo TV.
Aloha. Welcome to the Art of Painting with Rockwood. I'm Rockwood, and this is my studio. Today's episode, we're going to concentrate on doing a pink hibiscus. Stay tuned. Aloha. On today's show, we're going to be painting a pink hibiscus. So let's get started. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using reds and white to make the pinks because I don't have pink. So I'm going to make my own by using the dark red, a touch of my light red, and some white. I'm also going to be using a little blue and some brown for my shadowing. And my deep in there, I'm going to use the Payne's Gray. So let's just start by slamming some pink in here. What I did with this before you guys got here was I outlined this with a pencil, and then I painted the background so I knew exactly where we were. So I don't want to waste any time showing you all that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to scrub this stuff in here, just add a little bit more red to get a little bit deeper in here. As long as you're working wet on wet, those colors blend in real nice like that. Also, my light source is actually going to be coming from this side here. So I'm going to be putting the shadows in there. It'll really drive this thing crazy. And then I'm going to show you how to create the over and under of the petals here. So. And while it's still wet, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of white. So I'm going to bring the shape down like this. So I get that highlight. Bring that white right up to the tip, the edge of that like that. So that way I create that petal. Nothing in nature is just plain old flat, so we can create the shape like that. You can already see how cool that looks. Look at that. I love that. Now I'm just going to add just a touch more red. Bring this down. This. And I'm just dragging it over that so that it creates those indentations of the petals there. Now I'm just going to go in with just plain red. I'm coming right down into the center of the thing. Just following those lines. It's not really crucial. It's perfect because nothing in nature is perfect. So play with it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Payne's Gray and I'm going to tap right into the center, right around the, I'm going to call it the pistil. I don't know what it's called, the stem, whatever. And as I've said many, many times on the show, I do not study the terminology of stuff. I just go with whatever I think it is. Now see how I'm just blending this right up into the red that I've already placed in there, so that gives it that depth and it draws that out. I'm also going to work on one petal at a time because it's still wet. Yeah, let's see how deep that looks right there. That looks really cool. I love that. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this really cool shadow. This is why I'm using the blue and the brown. So I take that blue and the brown and I mix it with that dark pink that I've already mixed up with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up here. Remember, I'm using this photograph of the flower on my iPad here so that I can get that. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Now I'm going to switch to my rounded brush here, get a little bit of my flow, get that color just right. What I'm doing is I'm mimicking parts of the pistil. I'll call it a pistil. You can go along with me. If you know the terminology, fine. I do not. So I'm just going to put that in there. Now, that is the shadow. Doesn't that look cool? So I'm going to do that all the way around this thing. I haven't even painted the pistil in there, and I've already got the shadow on there. I love that. A little bit of flow. Come and give it a little bit of darker pink. And then what we're going to do is come in on the second petal here. Still got a little bit of Payne's gray on that. It's not really that big of a deal because I am going to be putting a lot of ink on here. So notice how I'm mixing this up until I get the right color on my palette. That way when I put it on here, I know what I'm getting. Alright, before we get too far, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my liner brush and I'm just going to take some straight white and I'm going to put that separation between the petals so that we see that highlight right there. Then I'm going to take another filbert brush. I'm just going to blend it so that I get a real nice fine line right there so it looks like a highlight, not a pointed line. Just a little bit more pink to it because it's a little bright for me. I'm just going to push that pink right up to the edge of that petal so that it has that highlight look, but it still looks nice and fine. Isn't that pretty? That's cool. Let's just scrub in some pink here. Never done pink. I'm not really much of a pink kind of guy. But I found this picture on the internet and I'm like, dude, that's going to be cool. Once again, we're going to take the pure white and I'm just going to exaggerate, throw that stuff on there like that so that you can watch and see how I take that and I'm going to blend that out. Take my paper towel while it's still wet. See, I can just go right over the top of that and I can erase, manipulate, move, whatever. I can get the shapes that look really neat in there. So I need to darken that up a little. Because I want to show this petal over the top of that petal, so I don't want it to be too light right there. Now I'm going to take that little blue, call it blue-gray kind of shadowy color, and just put it over the top of that right there. So it creates that distance. You can see how it looks like it's on top of that petal. So I need, what we're going to do, if you can take this, darken this up with a little shadow. And then right here, same thing. I just want to show that that petal is kind of folded right there. Oh, yeah. All right, so now let's put a little more light pink right up in here so that it shows that highlight right there. It's acrylic paint, so you can play with it. You don't have to be exact, just make it pretty. And what I did was I just went over that shadow. So now, because it's easier to put the highlight and then bring the shadow back under it. What that does is that puts that highlight right there on that tip. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of Payne's Gray and go right into the center of this. The other thing you'll notice that I didn't paint all in there because I put my shadows in there first, or the depth of it. Bring this out. See, just by mixing a little bit of the pink into the Payne's Gray, it draws it out and makes it deeper. And I'm just scrubbing this circular motion so that. So now we got that. Now we're going to go back in here with the lighter pink, and we're going to put this right there. Again with the Payne's Gray, just darken that up. When you do that, you want to make everything look as natural as possible. Just add a little bit of red because that's a little too dark right there. Notice I don't mix all the colors. I don't want to waste a lot of colors. And when you look at these petals, when you see the curve goes up like that, that's the high spot. That's where the highlight should be. And then the low spots are the valleys. And that's where you want your shadows. Of course, if you're using reference material like I am, and you should, try and imitate or duplicate whatever it is you see in the photograph. When I get to this part here, this one has some really neat valleys. So when I go to shadow them, they got big. One thing I don't want to do is I don't want all my petals to look the same. Nothing in nature is imitated. Always has something different. Now Alright, let's take that liner brush again. Do a white. Put it like right there. It's kind of warm today, so it's drying pretty quick. So. See how I'm drawing that out with a nice fine line right there. Pardon me. Now we're going to take the white. Now see where the ridge is. See how high, this high spot right there, this high spot right there, and this one right there. What we're going to do is we're going to take that white, put it up here, and draw it down towards the middle. Creates our high spots there. Take a little bit of my flow. And flow it out. Okay, so somebody probably noticed that I sometimes just pull my finger across it to pull the paint off too. It's acrylic paint. It's not dangerous in any way, nothing like that, and it washes right off. See how you got your high spots and your valleys in there? That's cool as heck. I love this. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in here and grab that with a bit of a touch of glue. I'm going to go in that valley right there. Show that this petal is under the other one. Take a little bit of flow. Basically, think of the flow as a thinner. And that helps us blend that out like that. And we can draw that down nice and thin. Alright, so according to my reference photo, this area right here is a lot darker. Here. Again, a little bit of more flow, a little bit of more. Where the heck am I from? Now, I don't want to have any straight lines in this, so I'm just going to wash right over the top of that just to get that set. Now, I'll take a little bit of white. Just a little bit of... Remember, that sun is coming right down like that, so that looks cool. All right, so now we're going to jump back to this guy here. Now, I've got the pistol all drawn in there with all the stuff but I'm just going to freehand that when I get to it. This is where the sunlight is hitting the flower first. So that's going to be a lot lighter. Now I'm going to take the Payne's Gray right down into the center. I'm going to keep that little bit of a highlight right there so you can see where the petals separate right there. You know what? I'm going to put that in. Alright, so now a little bit of brown. Pink. Now, it's pink. So now, since that sunlight is beating right here, brighten that up a bit. Wipe that off, grab some flow. If you put too much of something on, I certainly thought this was going to go a lot faster, but I don't paint flowers all the time, so. darker red. Right up under there, like that. Join those. Alright, so let's get that pistil in the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of orange. And put that you can see that with the mixed with the pink and the red, it doesn't actually look orange, but it does. It's a little separated. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of white. Where the sun is coming in. So now I'm going to go in here with the dark red. Put the big round dots that are on the shadow. Put them in. Little lines that connect them to the crystal. Then there's these little tiny yellow things, but I didn't put any yellow on it, so I'm going to do them in white. I'm just barely tapping to get the dots in there. Now I'm going to put a little highlight on those little red things there. And there, I know that was pretty quick, but we got it done. Not bad, huh? Thanks for joining me, and hui ho.